What's up, everybody? Welcome into 3 Point Stands, brought to you by Mountain Dew. I'm Jessica Benson, in for Megan Triplett, along with John Roser. Roser, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday in July. I thought we were going to make it through another weekend where there was no movement on the where in the world could Kevin Durant possibly go. But we did wake up to the news of various reports that the Boston Celtics have emerged as a potential contender to land Kevin Durant. The report was that the Celtics put together a package with Jaylen Brown. The Nets rejected that. They want more. More would include potentially Marcus Smart, lots of draft picks, potentially another player. What do you make of all of this?
I feel like, this is not the first time we've heard Jaylen Brown's name mentioned in trade talks, just over the last couple of years. It's always thought that if they were going to break up the Tatum and Brown, Jaylen Brown would be the one to go. At this point, Jaylen Brown did like a tweet earlier this offseason that said that he's disrespected by Celtics fans or like the front office or whatever. And Jaylen Brown liked the tweet. At some point, you think Jaylen Brown may get tired of this, just say, dude, trade me. Trade me. You clearly don't value me enough to keep me around here long term. You mention me in trade talks all the time. Just get me out of here. I want to go someplace where I'm actually wanted and valued for what I can do on the court. I tend to think that this may happen eventually. KD and Tatum are very close. They work out together in the summers. KD kind of stamped him during the Olympics and, things like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up happening. I think the natural thing is, hey, we all for this. Brooklyn comes back and says, no, we want all of this too. And Boston's like, yeah, well, we're not going to do that. Eventually, there's going to be a middle ground in all this. But I don't blame Sean Marks for asking for the move, because if you're Sean Marks, you'd probably like to get things cleared up with KD and Kyrie, because if you just look at the Nets roster, if you have those two next year and they actually play, then Brooklyn's got a really good team.
Add in if a healthy Ben Simmons is on the court with the entire group. That's the thing. Kevin Durant might be the best player in the world, but that's why you have to ask for the world in return.
Yes.
And
that's the thing is you want to trade for KD because you want that to put you over the top at winning a championship. The problem is with what you have to give up to get him right now, it almost pretty much doesn't make you a championship contender.
Yeah, we will see how that all plays out and who's playing where come training camp. But training camp in the NFL is here. Rosa, we only have 6 more Sundays without regular season NFL football. It is a miracle. The countdown is on. What are you most looking into in training camp purposes?
Well, for my own reasons, Trey Lance, obviously, he's kind of the great unknown. I think a lot of these year 2 quarterbacks, who is going to, I think you said Mac Jones probably had the best rookie year out of all of them. His team made the playoffs, yada, yada, yada. But does Trevor Lawrence take a step forward? Does Justin Fields take a step forward? Obviously, what do we see from Trey Lance? Zach Wilson, who's been in the news for other things in the last couple of weeks. Zach Wilson, because all of these guys have a ton of talent. You just look at, you see Lawrence, you watch Lawrence, Wilson, Fields, you see those guys throw the ball and you're like, whoa. They get cannons and, so it's the year 2 quarterbacks. The other one is, sad to say, we still don't know anything about Deshaun Watson. It was reported a while ago that he was going to be suspended for the whole year. Now you've heard reports that say he could get 2 games. That would be wild if he only got 2 games. Honestly, that's a big thing. What is going on with Deshaun? What's going to happen with Deshaun Watson? Because obviously that matters a ton to if you're going to place futures bets on the Cleveland Browns. If Deshaun Watson's only going to be suspended 2 games, say whatever you want about the creepiness off the field, and it's very creepy. We do know when the guy plays, he's awesome.
And we know there's a big difference between Deshaun Watson and a
Baker
room of, well, Baker's gone. Now it's Jacoby Brissett, AJ McCarron, or Josh the Chosen Rosen, who they added
there is a massive difference.
Big gap. Selfishly, I'm most looking forward to seeing Russell Wilson as a Denver Bronco. I don't know if you've seen the phone emoji, but it means he's dialed in, Roser. He's dialed in and ready to go.
Dialed in, yeah. Broncos country. Let's ride. The other one I will say, there is one team in the NFL in the last 5 years. I saw this over the weekend. One team in the NFL in the last 5 years who has not had a winning record at all at any point during the season. like not even 1-0, not even 2-1, not even 3-2. And it's the New York Giants. And the New York Giants have a brand new coach in Brian Daboll. We saw what Brian Daboll was able to do with Josh Allen and kind of help. I mean, because after the first 2 years of Josh Allen's career, we were like, well, is this guy even that good?
Played at Wyoming.
Right. And now Josh Allen's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. So if there is a chance he could revitalize Daniel Jones' career, Brian Daboll might be the guy.
We will see. I'm also really intrigued with Miami. Obviously, a lot of moves made down yonder and seeing if they can finally get something rolling. All right, finally, SEC Media Days wrapped up last week. What team intrigues you the most outside of the obvious choices? Who do you think is your sleeper in the SEC?
I don't want to call them a sleeper. I mean, Tennessee is interesting because their offense is going to put up crazy numbers in Heupel's second year. I have to say it's LSU.
Okay.
LSU, Brian Kelly. Like, Brian Kelly is a really good coach. Brian Kelly's one of the best coaches in the country. And we know LSU's loaded with players. Like, getting players is never a problem when you sit there and you can recruit from your home state, East Texas, and Florida right there. Like, I mean, they're all right next to LSU. They are loaded. We know that they have players. And he hit the transfer portal hard. So I'm interested to see what Brian Kelly can do at a school like LSU, because it's a weird fit.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a weird fit. Like, Brian Kelly in my family.
If I have to hear him say crawfish etouffee one more time, and
I will say, you know what? I will say, I'll give him this. He at least is goofing on himself about the accent now.
Yeah,
at least he's goofing on himself.
I appreciate that. I am interested to see, because, like you said, he's a proven coach. He's a good coach.
Yeah.
When it comes to the SEC East, I just want to know if we're actually talking about Kentucky as a football school by the end of the season. Like, I'm so intrigued by Will Levis coming over, being their quarterback. I was weirdly intrigued by Kentucky last year. It feels like I was a year too soon. And now they were picked to finish second in the preseason rankings coming out of SEC Media Days. And there's enough there to think maybe.
What do we think about mayonnaise in the coffee?
That's disgusting. You almost had me just. You would have had to start this whole thing all over again.
Did Will Levis get knocked down a peg or two when you saw in the coffee?
Yes, and even though it was obviously for show, and the man does not put not just like a tad of mayonnaise.
That was not a drop of mayonnaise. That was
mayonnaise.
like half the damn bottle.
It was disgusting.
That was so disgusting. And then obviously Billy Nate. I mean, there are a bunch of good stories. Yep. Billy Napier in his first year at Florida, but if you just go right down the road, the Mississippi schools. Mississippi State, Leach has a quarterback in Will Rogers. Kiffin, we know his offense can put up numbers. He's going to have a new quarterback. It's probably the USC transfer. Trojans fight on. Isn't that what y'all do? Yeah. So I'm interested in the two Mississippi schools, obviously.
We will see how it all plays out, because football season.
This is the first year Sam Pittman's got real expectations at Arkansas.
Yeah. That is true. Also, I can't believe you just called him the USC football quarterback. It's Jackson Dart. It's one of the best names in college football.
Yeah, I didn't want to mess his name up. I thought it was Dart, but Dart. I didn't want to mess it up.
All right. That wraps up this riveting edition of 3 Point Stands, brought to you by Mountain Dew. It is summer. We are here, Roser. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.